What's going on, guys? So we are just getting out here to North Padre Island. We are going to take these Lectric e-bikes for a little spin around the beach. We came out here in the afternoon because, believe it or not, it actually even gets a little too hot to go to the beach during the day. So we're trying to wait for it to cool down just a little bit, which it did. It's nice and windy outside now, 87 degrees. And we are going to see how these Lectric e-bikes perform on the sand of Padre Island. So hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so we have one of the bikes unloaded, and then we have my wife's bike right here. We actually brought this cool little four-wheel drive Torex for our youngest daughter so she can ride it. That thing goes up to 10 miles an hour, so it's actually pretty quick out here. So I'm gonna load this. The only downside of these bikes is the fact that they weigh about 65 pounds. So they're kind of heavy to unload. So again, that's really the only downside. We're out here at the beach. We're gonna test these things out. So I'm gonna heave this thing off the back. Crazy thing is, as heavy as these are, they're only 10 pounds heavier than my Cannondale, which is like a $10,000 e-bike, which is crazy. So we're gonna drop these off and lower the Torex and test these things out. All right, we got them both unfolded, unloaded, ready to go. We also got my daughter's Torex out, and she's starting to get ready to play with it. Super windy out here. It's always super windy, so we got about 35 mile an hour winds. And yeah, we'll be taking these things out really shortly. So this is my wife's. One thing that I did, which I didn't even know if I'd be able to do, is I reversed the handlebar stem right here. So you basically flip this down, unscrew it, and you can turn it around inside of there, and it's kind of like a clamp. So hers leans back a little further because she's relatively short, and this makes it a little bit easier for her to reach. As you can see, they normally stick out a bit further. So this is how it's going to work to turn them both on. We already have the key inside of the little ignition underneath the bottom of both of them. You hold down the power button right here. You'll see the computers turn on each one. Well, hope it turns on this one. All right, there we go. I didn't have the key all the way in. There we go. Full batteries on both of them. Select your power assist right here on both of them, and that's just going to determine how much the motor, the electric motor, kicks in whenever you start pedaling. So I'm going to mount the GoPro on my chest, and we'll take these things out for a spin. All right, so we got them all packed up and we are heading back. It is a absolutely beautiful night. The wind was nice and cool. It was just really fun. We had an opportunity to ride around for a little while, let our youngest daughter play in the sand and kind of enjoy the beach, so we're not out here burning up underneath the sun. And this is what it looks like when it starts getting dark here in Corpus Christi. It is absolutely gorgeous. A lot of people heading back from the beach. Our beach just stayed pretty busy. One of the unique things about our beach is that you can drive on it, at least most of it. The area that we went on with the bikes, though, is blocked off from cars because it's behind a bunch of hotels, and they don't want people driving their cars where people want to kind of come out of the hotel and go straight to the beach. It's a little bit safer. But yeah, at any given time over summer and spring break, it's pretty busy, but we had a really good time. The bike performed really good. I was real happy. And this is actually my wife's first time on a Lectric e-bike, because the previous models that we had did not have that lower step-through frame. So she had challenges getting on those bikes, and they just really weren't fit right for her height. Okay, so it is technically, I don't know how many days have gone by since the first half of this video that you saw, but it got dark on us and we weren't really able to ride that much longer before we essentially had to leave because it was getting too dark. So I am actually out this time by myself with my new Lectric XP Model 2 or Gen 2 e-bike, and I'm gonna take it out so I can experience what it's about, because it is 98 degrees outside with 113 degree heat index, and my wife decided not to come out today, so it's just me. But that's okay, because I like to ride my bike just about every single day, whether it's the Lectric bike or my Cannondale or my Santa Cruz, and I'm usually out riding around sweating my butt off regardless. So today I am going to go out to a really cool park that we have in this really awesome part of town, and I'm going to take it around and see what it's all about, because I really wasn't able to pick up much speed when we were on the beach, because we had our daughter out there in her little Torex thing, and it was only going upwards of 7 to 8 miles an hour, even though it could go a little faster, but she doesn't like to push it. She's a little timid when she's driving such a powerful machine. Anyways, guys, we are going to show up here to this beautiful park. We're going to go ahead and get it unloaded and go for a little ride together. So I'm not going to lie, as cool as it is to have a folding e-bike, the thing is pretty dang heavy, and loading it in and out of the truck folded isn't the easiest task. So sometimes I just don't fold it, I'll just roll it into the back, but this time I wanted to go ahead and fold it up. Just need to unfold it now, insert the battery, and get going. And there's gonna be a lot of changes to the bike from last time, so I'll go over those once I get the bike folded into its normal shape. Okay, and pardon the wind, it's always a bit windy out here. We're in this beautiful wide open park. It's got a really cool trail that goes around it, which I'll show you in a second. But we have the Lectric XP 2.0 e-bike out and ready. A couple changes. We have the suspension seat post on, which is this piece right here, along with the larger suspension seat that has these big old springs right here. The one that comes with the bike actually has some little springs, but they're a lot smaller and not quite as springy. And then I have little side mirrors. So I'm gonna be honest, I have used these and I'm not a big fan of them. They work okay, but just barely. So I don't necessarily know if that's an upgrade I would opt for. And then the other really cool thing is this huge headlamp up front, which I will admit is pretty dang bright. It's quite a bit larger and brighter than the one that comes on the bike, and I'll show you kind of a side-by-side thing here in a second. But the bike is set up, it's ready to go. Remember, you have to have the key inserted to lock the battery in place and turned on in order for you to be able to actually turn the bike on. So the bike is powered on right now. Haven't ridden it too much on the odometer. It's been really hot outside, and to be honest, I've been spending a lot of time on my Cannondale lately. But we're gonna take this thing out and have some fun on it. Now you might say that, you know, I could mount the mirrors further out, but you really can't, because the grips here are closed on the end, so this is about the only place you can put it. And adjusting these don't really help much, especially if you're going over anything bumpy, because they're just going to kind of shake while you're using it. But let's go ahead and take off. I'm going to start off in pedal assist 1. The bike will kind of take off a little bit on its own when it detects that I'm pedaling. Yeah, the shock up front definitely helps. It makes it a lot smoother feeling, especially with this suspension seat post and a springier seat. Right now we're capped out at 20 miles an hour. I can pedal assist it higher than that, up to like 28 miles an hour. And of course I can shift my gears here too. Keep in mind, it's only a 7-speed drivetrain, so even if you shift up to your 7th speed, it still may not be enough to actually give you I guess a really comfortable pedaling experience if you're going super fast. But if you use the throttle, it certainly picks up speed. You got to be careful though when you turn, because the pedals can get pretty close to the ground. You could get pedal strikes, so just be careful. Have your pedal raised on the side you're turning. If you're gonna hit the minor trails, having that shock up front is a world of difference over the previous model. Again, you hear that fender going kind of crazy though. It's capping me at 10 miles an hour going over this stuff. I got the throttle fully down. I'm just driving over all this rough stuff. It is a lot smoother than it is without a shock. I mean, that just helps tremendously, along with the suspension seat post and the springs under the seat. The mirrors, pretty much useless if you're going over anything bumpy, but if you're on smooth ground, they work okay, I guess. I got some more accessories coming in for this, especially one for the back that I'll show you once it comes in. But yeah, we've been riding for a little while. You drain the battery very quickly when you are going uphill on pedal assist or with the throttle. The battery was charged when I first got it, and I haven't charged it since, and it's doing pretty good considering. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up, take it back to the truck, get it loaded up, and head out. Yeah, the mirrors kind of get blocked by your forearms, so you don't really have the ability to see anything behind you unless you really like crane your neck over. It's a bit awkward to load. There's a couple things you have to keep in mind, especially if you have the mirrors on. You might have to kind of swivel a mirror out of the way so it doesn't press down on the bed whenever it's in there. And then also, if you load it from this side, you got the derailleur hanging down, even though they put a little guard right there to keep from banging it up when you're traveling with it. Anyways, guys, very cool bike. Absolutely love the product. My wife loves hers. I just wish it was a little cooler out today and she would have been able to come out here and enjoy it as well. But we're gonna load this in the back of the truck, get it home. Anyways, guys, I'll put a link in the description of this video if this is something you may be interested in. Definitely appreciate Lectric for providing these bikes for review and evaluation on the channel. And, you know, this is a huge evolutionary leap above the Generation 1, so gotta give them kudos for that, especially that super beefy rack they put in the back. Anyways, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.